Hey folks, and welcome back to the Next Today in Tarkov, or TIT, as it's become known by the community around here. We have our next event. This one is centered around GP coins. Those are those little gold coins that have GP written on them. You know, if that makes sense. Thanks to the community member in our Discord. We got a translation, so shout out. Thanks, Midnight Lyrics. Appreciate it. Link to the Discord in the description down below if you're interested in joining. But we'll translate it here for you real quickly. Rusty, broadcasting some news. Long story short, those gold coins are in demand again, which were dropping from PMCs during contract wars. Traders give some nice things for them, so you can get some sweet loot. Go dig up your stash. We'll make some money beautifully. All right, so on top of this as well, not mentioned, so I don't know if it's an event or if it's a long-term change. Labs cards are also on Therapist Loyalty level 3 now for about 139,000 rubles. So for Therapist level 3, you'll need level 24, rep 0.30, and 700k in sales to get there if you haven't already got there to be able to buy these Labs cards if you want to give Labs a whirl. Now with this event, we've seen initially a huge spike in GP coins. They went up to like 100k right out the gate, but they've settled back down in a kind of 60, 70k range. I suspect they're going to pull back even further. We'll probably see them right around 50k. I don't think they're going to get much cheaper than that, though they might. I could be totally wrong. But I think 50k is going to be the floor on these, just because a couple of the barters, the new ones that they've put in, as well as the barter for the Labs card, which is 7. So where Labs cards are priced at 7 coins, that's kind of where it gets you right around 50k. So with this, when you're on the flea market, make sure you're being careful, because you're going to see a bunch of people offering bullshit for GP coins. You know, it's not going to take much to get tricked into giving a 50 or 60k GP coin for something that's worth like 5k. Really simply, if you want to see all the barters yourself, go into find a GP coin anywhere that you search it or look in your inventory, right click on it and go to required search all the way at the bottom. This will pull up a filter on your flea market that anything that requires a GP coin will do it. Then you have to make sure that you have barters turned on if you have those turned off. So you go to the filter, the little checkbox that has remove barters on it, make sure that's unchecked. And then I go to here and I set it to traders. And that'll bring up all the trader barters for GP coins and pull off everything from players that are showing up on the market. So going through these, you can see there's a bunch of different armors in here. Most of them are kind of good barters. They're kind of good items. The barters right now suck. And until we see the GP coin get to like 45k, if it even does, most of these aren't going to be worthwhile. For example, Slick's in here. Right now, the barter costs 550 to 600,000 rubles for this barter. You can buy a Slick for like 350, 400k. So this barter just doesn't make sense. And this applies to the H grids, the Gen 4s, the iCase barter. All of it applies to it. Right now, things are just overpriced because of this initial inflation on the GP coin. But there are some barters here to keep an eye on if we do see it pull back into that 45k range. The top ones that I've seen right now, primarily are the Slick barter, the Gen 4 barter, the cheaper one, will be pretty good. The Osprey might be, jury's kind of out on that armor. It's kind of an odd armor, but the combined one, the heavy one, can be pretty good. And then in the guns, the P90 barter and the Asval are going to be the first two that come up that are going to be really good barters, just because of the price of these guns. You know, the P90 is like 70k for the gun. It's like another 70k for the suppressor. And then you get a holo on top of it, which that runs about 20 to 30k, depending on what level you are and what traders you have. So all in, you're already 170k, 150, 160, 170k for that P90. And it's three GP coins, so there you go. There's your kind of price point. Same thing with the Asval. You know, Asval's run about 90 to 100k, depending on what it is just for the gun. So you can get one here for 2 GP coins. So as that price pulls back, you'll be getting a better deal with those. Now, the Red Rebel is one that I think you should keep an eye on if you don't have Jaeger leveled up and you want a Red Rebel pick. Now, it's really expensive right now, 100 GP coins. So you're talking 6 million rubles just to get this thing. But if it pulls back into that 45,000 range, or even 40k range if you're lucky, or you're getting out of raid with a bunch of these coins, I think 100's a pretty steep price. If your coins are 35, 40k, you're talking 3.5, 4 million rubles for this. And getting to Jaeger loyalty level 3 can be hard for people to do. Some people don't like it. They hate his tasks, so they don't get there, and they can never get the Red Rebel without paying 5.5, 6 million for it. Well, here's your chance. Now you've got yourself a barter that might be able to this weekend get it a little bit cheaper, especially if you can pick up some GP coins for kind of cheap. Maybe put some barters up for like red gunpowder or maybe green gunpowder or stuff that's worth 40 or 50k. Put those up for barters for GP coins and see if you can get your GP coins that way. Now, last but not least, we have this thing of where can you find GP coins at if you don't know. The containers, if you will, that have these loot pools in them are pretty widespread. You have safes, obviously, but jackets, ground caches, you know, the barrel cache and the kind of hidden ones, sports bags, and those pink plastic suitcases you see in various places like Interchange and Shoreline and Labs and stuff. And then as well as dead scavs, not scavs you killed, you know, the ones that are containers that spawn in raid and there's dead bodies. Those can all spawn GP coins. On top of that, any valuable loot spawn will have these. So these are anywhere that you'll see a horse, a golden chain, a chainlet, you know, lions, vases, bitcoins, anything that spawns those spots, usually for the most part share a loot pool with GP coins. So anything you can think of in your head, that's where they're going to be. I don't know if they've turned the spawn rate up on these. I hope they did, honestly. With some of these barters and the way the prices are at, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's a pointless event right now, but if we don't see GP coins get a little bit cheaper, nobody's going to really utilize any of these barters, and it's not going to mean much. But with that, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in Tarkov.